What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to the Successes Within Reach podcast. I'm your host, Shannon Smith, and welcome to episode 7, The Power of Networking and Social Media. This evening, we have two awesome guests. You've seen them here before. First up, we have Corey Segu. He is an employee engagement guru, servant to the people, and someone who needs not bear a title. How you doing out there, sir?
Oh man, I'm all good, man. I'm all good. How y'all doing out there?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And next up, we have Kurt the Connector. He has a 98% connection rate. He is your
Yes,
networking
sir.
strategist. And the man said he's not a go-getter, he's a go-giver. Kurt, how you doing, sir?
Man, exceptionally well and exceedingly awesome, man. I'm ready to go.
Yes, sir. I like that. I like that. Before we get started, I want to let everybody know you can join in the conversation and submit your questions to the panelists at www.facebook.com/SIWR podcast. Once again, www.facebook.com/SIWR podcast. All right, gentlemen, let's get into it. First up, what are the ABCs of networking? Let the people know what are the basics of networking so they can expand their network, they can build partnerships, whether it's getting sponsorships or just getting people to join in and help them out with their businesses. We'll start with Corey.
Yeah, so I know there's a proper term for this, but for me, the ABCs, I'm gonna just break it down. It's authenticity, belief, and consistency. And so at the end of the day, everything that you do, when you connect with people, when you bring your whole self in that thing. And so when you meet somebody, whether it's somebody who needs to know you, whether it's somebody you need to work with or whatever, bring your whole self in. This is who I am. This is what I'm about. Because people buy into and you develop these long-term relationships. Think about this. I just made this video on Monday, right? You have friends, your best friends are your best friends because of you. They're not your best friends, and you may need to go reevaluate that relationship if they're your best friends because you just keep providing them with something. I guess if it's laughter or something like that. So when you meet people, when you start networking with people, bring your whole self in that thing. I just want you to be unapologetically you. And then the other part to it is the belief. So when you start networking, you want to walk in the rooms like, you know what? I am somebody. I am the person. Like, I have value. You know what? I can provide you with something. I'd have something that you may be able to provide for me because I can create an opportunity for you. So you want to believe when you walk into the room. There's a whole bunch of people who think about networking and they go to events and they're like, oh my God, if I could just meet this person and they would just do whatever for me. Nah, walk into that room and be like, you know what? I can create an opportunity for you. I know some folks. I know how to do XYZ, whatever it may be. And then my last part is just consistency. Follow up with folks, right? Stay in touch with people. There's a lot of relationships that drop off just simply because you stop messaging them. You stop that top of mind awareness within your circle. And maybe you're missing opportunities because they're like, man, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and over here go with them on this business consultant because, man, then I meet that guy the other day. He did whatever, and then they done forgot about you. So stay consistent in what you do, and then continue to follow up. Continue to check in on people. Man, I hit somebody up the other day. I said, you know what? I'm just trying to see how your day was going. And they're, oh man, it was wonderful. Matter of fact, I had a question for you. Yes. Now you have a question for me, and I'm okay with that because we're networking, we're helping each other. So that's my ABCs, man. I just think it's authenticity, belief, and consistency outside of the norm of what most people say.
Nice. Kurt, what you got?
Man, following up, that's very difficult to follow up after Corey because those are great things, and I believe in those as well. I call the ABCs though activity, bridges, and caring. And so starting from reverse, caring is because one, you have to care with your connections and with your networking and why you're doing. You have to care about what you're doing, and then you also have to care about the other person. A lot of times you see people come from a place of I only care or they only care about themselves. And so the person that they're dealing with or the business that they're dealing with, they only care to the level of what they can get out of it compared to I'm going to care at the maximum level, regardless of what you give back to me. I'm going to care because this is who I am. This is what I stand for. And this is what I want my brand and my name to represent. So I'm going to care. Now I'm going to learn our level after I get involved, but I want to keep my caring constant, because if something changes, it's not going to be me that was up or down. It was going to be
Mhm.
shifted and you moved. So for one, first, caring. Two, bridges. You have to build a bridge. Bridges
Mhm.
go two ways. Well, a couple ways. Bridges allow you to cross. It allows the other person to cross, or it allows you to cross and then come back. And so you're building bridges all the time. Every networking or network or as you networking is not going to work. Sometimes you got to come back
Mhm.
across the bridge. Sometimes you
Definitely.
have to be like, hey, I went over, I visited, I had you come over, you visited, we didn't work out. Let's go back to where we started from and work over there. And I'm gonna build another bridge somewhere else. And then the A is the activity. What are you doing? Networking is active. You
Mhm.
don't network by sitting in a chair and just staying still. You don't network by just being a knot on a log. Networking is based off your activity, you engaging, you getting out and making the first connection and then going from there. So you have to go in with a strategy of why are you in this place and what are you looking for? A lot of times when we start networking, we're all over the place.
Mhm.
We're all over the place. We don't know what we need. We don't know why we're there. We're just in there, just jumping around. Like, I'm looking for something, but I don't know what I'm looking for. What is key is I'm going in to look for a consultant. I'm going in to look for a behavioral strategist. That's what I'm here for. And everything that I ask or I'm engaging with is to get me there. If I meet someone who doesn't have what I need, that's fine. Do you
Mhm.
know someone that will help me with what I'm looking for? Because
Mhm.
that's my whole focus. So, following up is activity, bridges, and caring.
And
Nice.
and let me piggyback off that though, Kurt. When you talked about your bridges, just to hit home a little bit more, people, when you think about networks, right? Everybody working from home right now, everybody having any VPN or these connection issues, that's the network. So in a network, you're sending and receiving information. Every keystroke,
Mhm.
everything that you download, everything that you might need to upload into your cloud, everything that you need to send back to work or whatnot is sending and receiving. And
Right.
so when people think about networking, I want you to think about that. Think about that bridge that Kurt just talked about, but also realize that a network, just like a computer, just like a system, that we're sending and receiving information. So a lot of people, like you said, Kurt, they just walk into these situations. What can I get? What can I get
Right.
from this? Nah, you're sending and receiving that information.
Right.
Nice analogy, is because it's definitely a two-way street. Definitely a two-way street. All right. Next up, we have, what is your process for networking with businesses to create partnerships? This is really, really big. Like you said, everybody's been working at home. Nowadays, a lot of people think, oh, I'll just send an email to everybody in the company. No, don't want to do that. You don't want to just jump in a company's DMs or just go and email every, email that you can find on the website. So what is the process for networking with businesses to create partnerships? Kurt, we'll start with you on this one.
The strategy there. First of all, I always go back to there's a strategy to
Mm.
partnering with a business. We have to understand this. A business is already established. Whether they're going out of business, they are in business, or they're just starting up, a business is already established. So when
Mm-hmm.
you're working for a partnership, you have to understand it's an investment. You have to approach it like they are investing in me. Now, it is my goal to make them see that I am worth investing in. A lot of that
Mm-hmm.
is doing your homework. What do they stand for? What are they looking for? And then where with what you do, where can you fit in with them?
Mm-hmm.
So this is what I'm bringing to the table. Because based off the ability of your business, based off what your business has, based off what I've researched about your business, this is how I can help the business. Because based off how I can help, I see myself in this business. So I want to partner with you because this is what I bring to the table. And I see myself being a part of this business because I see growth. I see your culture. I see what you stand for. I want to partner with you because I believe in what you represent, and I believe that I can help elevate that. So this is why I want to partner with you. Again, it's not always going to work, but you have to understand going into the partnership that it is a partnership, a return on investment. So when I'm coming into a partnership with the brand, first, what do they stand for? What does the business stand for? Because not every business aligns with my left and my rights. And if they don't, then hey, we need to shake hands and not go down a path that one of us is going to be angry. So, I want to partner with you because I can tell you what I'm bringing to the table. I can tell you that I have this track record. I believe in what Kevin Hart did. Kevin Hart went to Sony because he did all the hard work, and he was in a place of leverage because he said, Sony, listen here, you're a great company. I believe in what you're doing. I want to sit down with you. I believe we can be great partners. But also understand this. I'm coming with this much social media presence because I did this organically from the ground up. So listen, Sony, I'm able to walk away from you because if you don't offer me this is what I'm already doing. I'm coming with an army into the building. Yep. So now you have some leverage. Partnerships are just that. They're partnerships. You're coming together to elevate each other. It's not I'm getting over on you. It's like, hey, we're a partnership. You're giving me something. Again, the bridge, the sending and receiving. You're giving me something. I'm getting something, but I'm giving you something back.
Yeah, and that is specifically what I was going to say, Kurt. And I love how you brought that. Is everything that he said. I need y'all to just catch that and just run with it. And I'm gonna just touch on the angle of the sending and receiving. He talked about Kevin Hart. Think about Tyler Perry. Everything that Tyler Perry has right now, Tyler Perry leveraged that. And he didn't go to ABC or CBS or whoever his shows were and was like, hey, man, I just think, I done a movie. I think we should partner, blah, blah, blah. And ABC, CBS is going to be like, so who are you? Tyler Perry went up to him and said, hey, look, I need X amount of episodes for this many seasons. Let me tell you about the people that follow me, for example. And then he bust this whole list out of however many people that was and said, hey, this is why I should do that. So he ended up striking a deal. And once the TV show came out, or I think it was the movie, matter of fact, the first movie that he did, he struck that deal, came with the list or whatnot. And they didn't think that it was going to do what it did. But what the company didn't know was that list that he showed them was a true following list. A lot of y'all think about, I have all these followers, I have all these people on my social media and whatnot. Are they true followers? So when the movie dropped, he sent out an email blast that said, hey, did a movie. They're going, it's going to be in theaters on this date. Was a box office hit. All of a sudden, they were like, oh, we've benefited each other because you wanted to do a movie because you were doing theater. You wanted to get into this space. But look how much money you just raked in.
Exactly.
And my brand is now on that movie. So when you saw that, oh yeah, I gave Tyler Perry that chance. You remember we got Tyler Perry on his first movie. So that's what Kurt's talking about. When you got to start doing work yourself, right? So you want to get in with these businesses, you have to start doing the work yourself. And then when you start to approach these businesses, look, I have this type of leverage for me to be able to help you. You have something that I need to be able to do, but I got some more eyes that I can put on you. And I'm not talking about I got an extra 20 people, right? You get a people, and I'll give you an example. I had somebody say, hey, man, I heard you were speaking at this conference. Man, I would love for you to just try to get me in the door. I say, cool, what you trying to talk about? What can you bring to the table? Because the value is what I was bringing to the table. This individual didn't really have anything to talk about. I said, how many seats can you fill for me? At least I can go from that route. Let me see if I could say, if they get on stage, they'll have 1,000 more seats filled. Man, I got about 47 followers. I was like, man, go somewhere with that. but you got to realize you ain't been putting in the work. So then you get to the table, you don't have leverage. So the best thing to do, just take everything that Kurt just said and then take my little ramble and understand that you got to do the work and you need to be able to build something and then leverage that something to say, because I built this over here, I can now help you with it.
Facts. I can't stress enough how important that is. And especially, when he harped on doing the research on the company, please don't contact the company and say, yeah, I buy your stuff in Walmart. I've been supporting y'all for the last 15 years. That's not getting you a seat at that table.
Right.
Do your research, understand what their mission is, what their value is, the regions that they're successful in. Do your research, because they want to know that you are truly invested and not just trying to, pull on their coattails and tag along off of what they've already built with their brand. Let them know that, okay, I've done my research. I've created a powerhouse as well. And this is how merging these two together, like Voltron, can create a huge machine. That's what you got to bring to that table when you address these companies. Another thing I would add is going through that company list, finding out the specific people that you need to contact. Like I said, when we first started, don't just email everybody on the website that you find. You don't need to be contacting the CFO about marketing and advertising. You don't need to be emailing the logistics manager about doing a commercial or getting a radio ad, or developing, a t-shirt line. Make sure that you're contacting the right people, because if you just look desperate and they sit down in this huge board meeting and they're like, who is this person that's emailed everybody on the board of directors?
Right.
You'll never get a response.
Nope.
You'll never get a response. We got a few comments here. Mike Williams said they out here giving that value. We got Brittany Awebu that jumped in, said be strategic. Definitely, that's how Kurt opened up, said there is a true strategy to contacting these companies. Can't harp on that enough. All right, next up we have, what is the best way to network with influencers and brands via social media? So this is kind of a part 2 to the last question. Like I said, we don't want people just jumping in DMs for Nike and for Google and all of this type stuff, or just run and jump on somebody because they got 3 million followers. What is the best way to really network with influencers and brands via social media? How do you find them? How do you connect with them? And how do you actually do your proposal?
Man, Kurt,
whoever wants to jump out there.
Kurt, that's the, you know what I'm saying? That's you.
So again, you're going to hear me repeat this over and over. It has to be a strategy, but it has to be a strategy that doesn't feel like manipulation and doesn't feel that you're not being authentic. I'm going to use myself for an example. When I hear influencers, when COVID kicked off, of course, people were in the house. So more influencers started coming out on social media. And as I'm watching certain influencers, I listened to what they were saying. Hey, be true. I'm the kind of influencer that I want you to be organic, authentic, come on here, say hello, do these things. So I'm hearing this, right? And I tell myself, I'm going to do what they're saying. But I'm not going to come in with, what can you do for me? Hey, give me this, give me that, no, you know what I'm doing? I'm coming in to say, I appreciate your comment, I appreciate your content. I'm so thankful for what you're saying. This hits home. And then I took information and started working, because going back to what Corey was saying about, you have to show something. So if I'm listening to an influencer and I want to engage with an influencer, first I come onto their platform and I give meaningful feedback and comments, and I'm in there like wild hornets. You're going to see me because I'm constantly talking. You're going to notice me because if you look down, you're going to be like, yo, who is this? Who? I don't know. I can't fully engage with whoever this is, but every time I look down, I'm seeing messages and I'm seeing them say something and I'm seeing them engaging, and I'm engaging other people in there. Because what am I doing? I'm wanting to show this influencer that I bring something valuable, that I appreciate the time that they are giving to even come on here and give free game, give free education. And then I take their information and I start acting on it. So if they go look and say, yo, who is this person? Let me go look at what they just applied what I said. They just applied what I commented and told them to do. So they're more inclined to give me some time because there's someone actually using their information and using their call to actions and putting it to use. And then next is looking at who is close to them. Certain influencers you're not going to get to just in their DMs because their DMs, you got to think behind the scenes, how many people are hitting them up?
Yeah.
You know, so if I do go into a DM and say, hey, I just want to tell you, I really loved your live last night. I took these things from it. I appreciate it. I'm going to act on it. That's all I'm doing. I'm not in there like, hey, can you give me a free consultation? I'm not going to Corey off the break. Like, hey, so I hear you do this and I hear you give consultations and yo, I want you to look at my page. Like, first of all, who are you? You're jumping in here. Understand, I'm a business.
Yeah.
So respect me as a business. I don't know you. We don't have a relationship. What you're asking for is based off relationships. And you in my DM. First of all, you're in my DM and you're doing this. No, go to that link tree, go to that flow page, book some time, because if I'm going to give you time and I don't know you, if you're gonna waste my time, you're gonna pay me.
Invoice.
You're gonna catch this invoice real quick. You're gonna catch this invoice real quick. But if I know that Corey's attached to you, like you, Shannon, is like, okay, you know what? Shannon is his main man. Okay, this is what I'm gonna do. Hey, Shannon, what's going on? How you doing? Really appreciate you. I love what you and Corey are doing. Hey, you know, I don't want anything, but I just wanted to say hello. I keep working that, and then at some point I say, hey, I would love to have a sit down with you. How do I book it? This is what I'm looking for. This is what I've been building this, and this is where I'm struggling. You would be more inclined to work with me or to be like, yo, Corey, this dude, Kurt the Connector, man, I've been talking to him, man, he's been doing these things. I see him talk about everything that you say about self-assessing and looking at himself and feeding that. Yo, I don't know who this dude is, man, but he's bringing value, man. He's out here championing you. So now by the time I meet Corey, he's like, dude, I done heard about you, man. My man Shannon been talking about you. I got to meet you. Who is this Kurt the Connector dude? Get him to me. Give him my information. I need to connect with him, because if he's blowing you up like this and talking about me and I don't know him, I need to meet him.
Excellent.
Excellent. That's Kurt. Speaking of invoices, Kurt, go ahead and drop your invoice in the comments, because that's a whole consultation in itself.
For sure.
So
For sure.
we're going. I don't know what y'all want to charge for like 10 minutes by $47. I want to charge $99. But make sure when they listen to this podcast, Shannon, they get stopped at a certain point, and you have to run that card before you continue with this podcast. Yeah. But no, so Kurt talked about something like building that relationship. I can't stress enough how bad you have to build that relationship with people. And so again, you want to comment, you want to engage with people, you want to develop a relationship that you don't have a relationship with the person. It's like that person that you always, and the majority of y'all, and I know some of y'all listen to this, all you do is just change, like you just exchange memes all day. And these meme people are like, man, I just love my followers. I don't engage with them at all. If you look at it, it's all comments from other people. It's never comments from them responding back, hey, I'm glad you found it funny. None of that, right? It's all comments from other people, but it's still like you're connecting with that individual. And then when you finally run across them. So here's the thing. Once you build that relationship with them, please, please, please don't come on here talking about, hey, would just love to collab. Shoot me a DM. First of all, who are you?
Absolute worst. Absolute worst.
Because the quickest way to not get read, or I should say to get left on read, is to come in my DM and be like, yo, just wanted to collab with you. Hit me up and let me know. I don't even know what you do. Or you give some, hey, just want to collaborate over some t-shirts or something. Let me know what you want to do. I don't even know if your brand aligns with me. Maybe I'm a Christian rapper and you got shirts on here talking about thug life. Like, it better be thug life for Jesus. Because otherwise, I'm not going. You know what I'm saying? I'm not.
I got hot Hennessy. I got hot Hennessy, and you're a Christian rapper.
Right. We doing. It better be Hennessy for the Lord.
Oh man.
Right. The Lord. First of all, let's not get on Hennessy.
Let's not.
It's top bottom shelf. But
Yeah,
I never said that.
Oh man.
That's the new. And that's what you're gonna name this podcast, Shannon.
Top bottom shelf.
Top bottom shelf talks. But no. So even when you get into those DMs, I want you to lay it out for that person to be like, you know what? I'm hitting you up because of this.
Mm-hmm.
I want to do this for you. This is where I want to go. Would you like to collaborate? And that way, you let me know. You know what I'm saying? It's like dating someone. Like, you don't go up to a woman. I'm gonna just say that because there's all guys on right now. You don't go up to a woman right now. If you're listening, you're a lady. Shout out to Brittany. You know, she's listening right now. If you go up to a man and you don't just go up to him and just be like, yo, you want to be my boyfriend? They gonna be like, yo, if you don't get your stalking behind over here, you sound like a creep. But if you go up to him and honestly just be like, look, this is who I am, this is what I'm about. I enjoy doing XYZ. This is where I'm trying to go. You might be like, okay, I see where we're going here. I'm interested now. So let's continue this conversation. So lay it out for the person. Date the person on social media. It's your unofficial boo that you're trying to become in, this collaboration with.
Figuratively.
Yes.
Nobody coming back saying we heard on the podcast.
Right. We heard Corey said you got to date them unofficially on there. Yeah. And all of a sudden, Bill Gates got 47 girlfriends talking about it's common law. That's what we're not going to do. Cut that piece out. But that's what you want to do. You want to develop the relationship because of this is who I am. This is what I'm about. This is what I think we should do together. Would you be interested in doing so? And then allow that person to be able to understand it. Because like you said, Kurt, there's 7,000, especially if you hit a big influence up, there's a million people in them DMs every single day. I was in a podcast the other day and a guy said, I just had to delete all my DMs and just start on over because there's no way I can answer them. Right. So you want to stand out and then lead off with something that stands out for them. Don't just say, hey, just in the first part that they say is, hey, would love to collaborate. I would love to know if you would. And then I'm like, yep, delete. Because I already know what this is about. Lead off with something that's going to catch my eye. Hey, I can do this for you. I have this or whatever it might be. And then you'll be able to cultivate that relationship or at least catch that eye from there. Because I'm telling you, once you start doing business, then everybody in your DMs, everybody wants the free business information.
Exactly. Right. And I mean, and the other thing you got to remember too, in this age of DMs, a lot of people, this age of social media, a lot of people are getting bots in their DMs all day, every day as well. So you definitely have to have something captivating that catches attention. Because like you said, if you think about a person that has, 500,000 followers or 4 million followers, like you said, they can easily get 200-300 DMs in a day. And, as Kurt alluded to, a lot of these people have gatekeepers. You see their face, you see their videos on their page, but they're not the ones posting it. They have a whole social media team. So that's why you have to be intentional with your with what you're sending to them, with your message and with your request, because you got a whole team of gatekeepers. And if they feel like you're not authentic, they feel like you're just trying to get over, or you're trying to get something for nothing, and that two-way street hasn't been created, that person will never know your name and never see your page, And another thing you have to think about too, don't go into a person's DM, influencer or brand and or business, and your page looks like garbage. And that's as nice as I can put it. Y'all know how I am. It's no sugarcoating and rainbows and lollipops here. Like it's just straight talk.
Every link out the
let me be honest. Your page is trash. Let me be honest. Exactly. Your page is trash.
Who is 404 and how do I contact you?
Like you cannot go to an influencer or a brand and say, hey, we should build. I think I can bring value to your brand, or if you partner with me, we can make X amount of dollars. And they go to your page and it's full of ads for Ray-Bans, or how you can flip $10 into $10,000 if you email this address, or you just got one picture on the whole page. That's not giving them any information as to what value you bring. That's not going to make them respond and say, hey, follow this link, let's set up a Zoom, or pre-COVID, let's set up an actual sit down.
Right.
It's not going to happen. You have to show them something on your page. You have to already be providing value. You have to already be putting out good content, great messaging, have some type of design or something to your page. Don't just have it look like, a conglomerate of stuff. People aren't going to sift through that. They're already rich and famous. They already have, the millions of followers. They don't need you.
There it is.
And if you keep that in mind, they don't need you, but you want to show them why it's beneficial to partner with you. If you keep that mindset, it can get you a whole lot further.
They done showed up to the party with the top bottom shelf Hennessy. Probably should have bought some Macallan 12, 15, 20 years, something.
Oh, if your pictures and your written words are not longer or more or clearer than a Forex bot, we can't talk.
Yeah.
If you ain't wrote more than what a Forex bot writes, I can't talk to you.
Facts.
But they can make you $1,000 today. And they mentor is a beast.
Bro, it is terrible. Like, we could do a whole episode on getting rid of bots off of social media, man.
Exactly.
All right, next up is one of my favorite topics. How do you work the room at network at events? A lot of people have trouble with this, whether they're introverts or whether they're just not comfortable or confident in themselves and speaking in large rooms or at large events, or they're intimidated by people due to whatever their particular title is. So how do you work the room and network when you're at events, be it a conference or a mixer or, an actual business conference, or whatever the case may be?
Well, first I'm going to say this real quick. I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna give it to you, Corey. First of all, you need to have at least a cup of top bottom shelf, a sample for everybody in the room.
At least
a little 2-ounce cup, top bottom shelf, and I'm just gonna serve everybody in the room first.
1,000%. So what you want to do is, when you get the room, you hold the bottle like this.
Yeah. Anyway,
and you want to let them know that it's top bottom shelf, and then when you pour it, but you want to act like it's top shelf at the time.
All day.
Just playing. So here's the thing. When you get into a room, whether you're introvert or you're extrovert, Kurt mentioned this already. Go into the room knowing what you need. You don't look, if I'm at an event and my man is talking about he is a architectural structure genius, and I'm not trying to build a business, you might just be good to know. I don't necessarily need you. If I go into if I'm trying to build a building and I find this architectural structure guy, I'm gonna be like, hey, how's it going? Because you're the guy that I need. You're the gal that I need on this. Go into the situation knowing who you need, and then you can basically find it from there. So here's the thing. If you're an extrovert, if you're like myself, I might be like, hey, how's it going? Everybody, what you do? Oh, you said you do that? Nah, not you. You do. Oh, okay, yeah, you come here. That's just me though. If you're an introvert, you're not so direct and you're not like really out there like some people. Just pay attention to the conversations that's going on. You're gonna hear a lot of talking, and they're gonna be on the side. Yeah, so I just did a deal on Forex, and I learned how to trade and blah blah blah. And then you could be, hey, I've been looking to get into Forex, matter of fact, and that's your end. And you didn't have to just come up with the conversation. You didn't just have to do whatever. You could just be, man, you mind if I listen in real quick? And then naturally they will start to talk to you and just be like, oh yeah, you say, so you was interested in getting a Forex, blah, blah, blah. You want to be a spam bot? This is how you do it, right? Like, that's how you get into these conversations. I don't think y'all caught that, by the way. That's how y'all get into these conversations. I'm gonna have a course coming out on how to become a Forex spam bot.
Yeah.
By the way, it's gonna be $9.97.
$9.97. 7 steps to becoming a Forex.
This is the 27 steps to becoming a spam bot. But no, so that's the thing is you want to be able to leverage your personality really. Because and most people down introverts, right? They'll be like, oh man, I'm an introvert, so I'm not as good as the extrovert. The introvert to me is impeccable because they can shut up and listen. And I'm just over here just talking and talking and talking. And they got the figures and the formulas going all over in their head. And they didn't figure something out. And I'm like, all right, let's go. And I ain't even got no plan in order. But so that's what you want to do. Work the room, understand who you are, assess yourself, right? We've talked about it on the Cypher plenty of times. Get the assessment, assess yourself. Who are you? How do you think through stuff? And then go through the room. All right. Listen to that conversation, interject a little bit. Hey, look, I'm interested in doing that. You mind if I listen? Okay, cool. If you're that type of person, if you're me, hey, so what do you do? Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, let's talk about that. Tell me more about it. Not in a crazy, like I'm arrogant, like I'm just trying to throw you off and all that other stuff. But yeah, just work your way and then figure, like, go after what you need in that room, because we spend the most time in networking events talking to people that we never need to talk to again, honestly.
Yeah. And to follow up, I'm gonna go back again to what Corey said earlier, which is you're sending out a signal and you're receiving a signal. So to work the room first starts, listen, we're all pretty adult here. It's called pre-gaming. You have to pre-game. Okay. Back in the day, we pre-game with top bottom shelf, but this is networking, this is business. All right. So you got to know some things about the networking event. What's the dress code? What's the expectation? What are they going to be talking about? What are they doing? What's the overall theme? Because that tells you how you have to walk into the networking event. You can't walk into a business casual networking event and you got on flip-flops, shorts, and just a plain t-shirt. Unless there's a specific strategy that you're walking in with there, that you're like, look, I'm doing this to immediately draw attention to me, to capture people, to lead me somewhere. But you have to, but if you're not doing that, you better know what you're walking into. What's the expectation? What are they doing? Once you get there too, you have to strategize certain things. When you walk into an event and you're working the room, you're working the room. You're not letting the room work you, which means you're not in there and saying, I'm going to eat all the finger foods because I haven't ate today. I'm over here wanting to drink all the top bottom shelf liquor. And now I'm getting turned up. And you got business owners and multimillionaires in the room, and you now leaning and talking on them and slurring your speech and ultra loud and hey, what's going on there? It's like, hold on, what are you doing? So when you work the room, understand you're working. You are sending out signals. You're watching things. You're watching, okay, who's the number one avatar in this room? Okay, now who's close to them? What is everyone doing? And what makes me different than everyone else in this room? Some of us understand that you're not going to have certain skills that some of us that are networkers and networking is our thing have. We have certain inherent gifts that you don't pick up. But there's a strategy that when I'm walking in, as Corey said, I'm looking for something. I'm looking for someone to give me a self-assessment. So I'm looking for people that know DISC. Okay, I need someone who's a behavioral scientist that can assess me, and this is my whole goal. So everyone that I'm talking to, hey, how you doing? So glad and so nice to meet you. I'm Kurt the Connector. This is what I do. What do you do? Oh, okay, that's great. Hey, I know that we're hearing this. Do you happen to know anyone in this room that is DISC certified? Oh, you don't? Okay, thank you. What do you do again? So nice to meet you. Appreciate you. If I see you again, I'd love to have some more conversation. Now I'm off to someone else. So if I go to someone else and I'm talking, I still have the main goal that I'm after. I'm after one thing. Everything else, that's not what I'm there for. That's second. Until I meet someone that says, oh, you know what? I do know. My friend Corey is standing right over there. He's DISC certified. Oh, really? Who is he? Oh, he's right there. Okay, can you go, maybe introduce me? Yeah, come on, I'll go with you. Hey, Corey, this is Kurt the Connector. Kurt the Connector, Corey, he was interested in this. So now we've built a bridge because I have now put myself in your space with someone that makes you comfortable because they're telling you what I'm looking for. They're telling you why I'm there. And now they've warmed us up to each other. But if I just walk up to Corey and say, hey, how you doing? This is what I'm looking for. Corey's like, you know what? That's what I do. Oh man, I'm so happy to meet you because this is what I'm here for. And this is why I want the assessment. And this is what I'm looking to do. Now, if you're in there just to say, hey, I know that this is an event, I need a job, you have to know your left and your rights when you're in what I call the Shark Tank. There are people in there that know their job. So you have to have an ability to pull up. If you start seeing yourself getting pulled down into deep diving information that is real specific that you have no idea about, you better be able to pull up in a networking event because you get exposed. Like, man, that dude over there, that dude, Kurt the Connector, man, he talking about Forex and he has no idea what Forex even means. So when you work the room, again, you're looking around, you're watching, you're feeling out the room, you're picking up the things that are going on in the room. And then you're saying, okay, this is where I fit in. If you're extroverted, don't be too loud where people shun away from you. And if you're introverted, don't be so quiet that people never know you're in the room. Is it a balance? Yes. But you have to open your mouth and say, this is what I'm here for. Ask people that are business owners, what do you need in your business?
Kurt, you said something right there, boy. You said you said I walked up to me, I said, hey, but do you know someone or something, however you said it?
Yeah.
And that will open up so many doors too, because maybe you don't know, but I don't know who you've talked to. So, hey, have you met anybody here who's done? Oh,
exactly. Cool. Exactly. And that's exactly it. Because if you've been there before me, hey, how long have you been here? Okay, cool. You've been here like 30 minutes. Who have you met? I'm looking for someone that does this. Oh, you know what? I met somebody when I first got in there. I think it was that person right there. Oh, okay. Do you know that? What's their name? What do you know about them? Oh, yes, my man's. Oh, for real? Do you mind introducing us? Because now, if my mans walk up to me and say, hey, Kurt the Connector, this is Corey right here, man. He was, talking to me. I'm going to give you a little more time because my mans is introducing you. And that's fine. Like, hey, I just need someone to get me to the person. And then when you get there, as we're talking, what do you need? Oh, man, this is what I need. You know what? I'm so glad you said that because this is what I provide. Oh, well, let's talk then. Let's talk because you're giving me what I need. And I'm going to give this a free game. I hope people are writing this one down.
Drop the invoice again.
This is an invoice. This is an invoice moment. Whenever you're talking to a high-level business owner, ask them this one question. What is one question that you wish people asked you, but they never do?
That's good.
Drop the credit card information in there.
You're asking that for a specific strategy because that person now has to think, what is one question? And when they tell you the question, that's your end. Man, I wish people really just asked me, how long does it take to produce whatever? Now that you know that is their pain point. I wish people really understood how difficult it is to come out to this event and have to put on, a face and be happy when my business is not working. Oh, okay, your business is not working. What is not working in your business? I really need a virtual assistant, or I really need someone that can do this in my department.
And you go.
That's funny that you asked that because I know a virtual assistant and the department that you need, I'm certified in that. I'm giving you 2 for 1. I can get you connected to a virtual assistant and I'm someone that you should employ because that's my specialty.
That's good. That's good. And, I would add to that when you are working a room, there's a few things that you got to make sure that you avoid, rather. It's a better way of saying it. Stop networking with your phone in your hand.
Phone down.
I can't tell you how many times I've seen that. If you walk up to me and you're asking me about business, you're asking me about networking, a partnership, and you stop to get on your phone, I'm walking off.
We done.
Right there in the middle of the conversation, we're done. Because that is, like leave your phone in your pocket or in your purse for the ladies. And even if it rings, do not answer that phone while you're in the middle of talking to someone. Eye contact. when you're talking to that person, give them the respect to give them that eye contact and that one-on-one. Don't be looking around the room plotting on who you're going to next. You know, they're sitting there talking and you like, oh, is that the crab puff that just came out? Like, yo, we like
Are they
don't do
passing
that.
out top bottom shelf right now? Hold on, I'll be back.
Is that top bottom vodka? Was that taco vodka?
You know what I mean? Like, don't do that. You know, give that person your undivided attention the same way as you would want it. You know, like I said, leave the phone in your pocket. Make sure that you exercise some tact when you do that exit. You know, because some people can be really long-winded when you're talking to them, but don't just be like, all right, well, it was nice talking to you and you out, because you never know, that person may be the connect that you need later down the road, you know, or that person may end up being somebody very influential and they go around the room like, yo, this person just completely disowned me and walked off. Now nobody else in the room is talking to you. You got a problem. Another thing, stop being intimidated because of a person's position. I don't care if you're talking to an intern all the way up to the CEO. I don't care if it's somebody that's the keynote speaker at that event and they're on the Fortune 500 list. You're just as important as they are. Everybody has something to provide for someone else. I don't care how long you've been in the game. So don't go with your head down. Don't go begging people for a minute at a time. Don't just stand there and stalk people till a long line is gone. And please, oh my God, this one gives me a migraine. Stop going up to people at networking events just to take a picture for the gram. People, please stop doing that. Especially those that are going to these business and networking conferences. You pay $1,000, $2,000, $5,000 just to go and take a picture and say you met such and such.
You better get the education.
What did you get from that?
Exactly.
You waited you waited in a line for a half hour. You get up there to the table where this person is, and the only thing you say is, do you mind taking a picture? What value is that for you, your brand, or your business? What partnership did you create? Absolutely none. Like, come on, people. By the time, especially if you have paid that amount of money and waited that long to meet that person, you need to have at least 2 questions for that person.
Yep.
You know what? This event was awesome. I really, admire what you presented on the stage. This is the value I got from it. Do you mind if I pick your brain with a quick question? Sure, shoot. Blah, 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 blah. You know what? Just really quick while I got you here, because I really appreciate this opportunity. Do you mind if I ask you one more question? Shoot. They don't mind that, but just you did all of that just for a picture? Like, come on, people.
Exactly.
Come on,
and
people.
Shannon, you said something powerful about it doesn't matter if it's the intern or it's a COO, give both the same amount of respect. Because big business owners will respect you more if you are respecting the intern just the same way as you are respecting them. So
Exactly.
treat all of them the same. And when you have, like you said, when you have the chance, and again, I'm gonna go back to Kevin Hart because I just watched the interview when he went and talked to Jeff Bezos. This is $1 billion man. And his man was like certified. And his man was like, man, you gonna go over there and talk to him? Who else am I gonna talk to? When is the next time I'm going to be in the presence and ask and pick the brain of someone who's worth $1 billion? You right, I'm gonna go talk to him. And I'm going to talk to him with questions. I'm not going to sit up here now that I'm in this room and be like, man, I can't go over there and talk to Jeff Bezos, man. I can't go talk to, Tyler Perry, man, because that's Tyler Perry. No, that's who I need to talk to. They're multimillionaires. Let me have a conversation. Let me be one of the people that's brave enough to actually talk to them, not just snap a picture with them.
Yeah. And another thing I need people to really understand, the importance of your elevator pitch.
You better work on it.
When you are at these networking events, when you're at a huge gala, you're in the space with a lot of movers and shakers and innovators. Understand your elevator pitch is so key, because you only got 20 to 30 seconds for them to figure out if you're worth their time or not. And I know that sounds bad, but it is what it is. Like he said, if you're talking to a billionaire, somebody that has, 300 people that's trying to meet them and get their attention, and they say, okay, yeah, nice to meet you. What do you do? Well, I got a clothing line, or I got a makeup line, or I cut hair. Like, nah. What is your elevator pitch? This is who I am. This is what I do. This is the value I provide. This is how I serve people. And this is the value that they walk away with. You need to be able to state all of that in 30 seconds. 30 seconds. Think about the time it takes to go from a floor to the next floor on the elevator. You got 15 to 30 seconds. That's why it's called an elevator pitch. People work on that. Work on that. That is so key when you're networking with people at events. And say it with confidence. Don't stutter over it. Hell, practice this in your hotel room. Practice in your car. Practice on the flight while you're on the way there. Don't wait till you get there to practice it.
Right.
Say it with confidence, because you never know who's walking by and they're like, oh, snap, that's who I've been looking for. Please work on your elevator pitch.
Yep.
Yeah, and before y'all let that go there, Kurt gave y'all a question to ask that's super valuable. And that made me think about something that I've asked people before, and it gave me so much insight and developed a relationship, because then the individual says, oh man, this guy's insightful. He's asking questions that I enjoy. Right. Like I enjoy answering that. Oh man, he picked my brain. Because you got to think, a lot of these people who are high up, and I'm just speaking specifically for like those really high level people that you may run across, and really even like an intern, right? You may be trying to get where they're getting. The question that I asked a couple individuals and gave me a whole bunch of insight was, how did you get there? And I didn't ask it necessarily like that, but I leveraged the information that I had. And so I'll give y'all an example. This particular individual's in oil and gas. And I said, well, with the Shells and the Exxons and all that stuff out here, I said, even being an African-American man, I said, how are you? Because I said, the way that, and we've hung out a couple of times, so the way that people talk about you, they're like, man, I ain't got money like him. Man, if I had pull like him, this guy had told me like instantly when we first met, man, I was just hanging out with the owner of the Houston, Texas, not the owner, the GM of the Houston, Texas before Bill O'Brien tanked that whole team. But that's neither here nor there. But I'm like, man, so how did you get there? Or how do you do what you do? And so he started explaining to me, and he's like, look, I ain't gonna get into super big detail. Maybe we can talk again another time. But he said, we're cursed. You know what? No one ever asked me that question. They just always ask me, how do I make money? And so he said, I sat down with an individual one day. He went to Stanford University. He said, I met this guy while I was in college. He said, he sat me down and he said, you want to get into oil and gas and whatnot. What's your plan? And he said, I didn't really have one. I just knew I was going to do business. So he said, the guy then started to tell him, think about this plate. And so he said the guy had a plate and he dropped the plate and it broke in a whole bunch of pieces. So then he said he picked up the big pieces and was like, this is Shell, this is Exxon, this is this company, this is the Valeros and all the other stuff. And he said, you see all them little crumbs on that floor right now? And it's still some decent sized pieces here and there. There's some little bitty pieces too. He said, I'm going to pick this one up. I'm going to pick that one up. I'm going to pick this one up. Congratulations. I just made $500,000. And I was like, man, okay, I see where we're going here. But it was because I asked that question that he was like, well, let me show you how I got here. And let me show you the information on a really high level, obviously, because I would be doing oil and gas myself right now if I knew the ins and outs. But yeah, I mean, questions like this will open someone up to, they enjoy, like people in positions enjoy giving the information back. You just have to, the gatekeeper, sometimes the gatekeeper is right in front of them. And it's the face. You ask that question, the gates open, and they're like, you know what? Matter of fact, that's the right question. You got the right one today.
Exactly. All right, ladies and gentlemen, once again, you are listening to the Successes Within Reach podcast. We're going to pause for a quick break, and we'll be right back. I'm ready to get the ball. All right, welcome back. Welcome back. Once again, we are joined by Kurt the Connector and Corey Sigu here on the Successes Within Reach podcast, episode 7, the power of networking and social media. Really quick, we have a question from our audience. Says, what are some other key elements of an effective elevator pitch? So for the most part, an elevator pitch, like I said, it wants to be short, sweet, and to the point. For most people, it's 4 parts. For some, like I just named, it can have 5 parts. You really want to get into who you are or what company you represent. What does your company do, or what is your product or service provide, and that value? What problem does it solve? What value are you giving to the customers? What is the key point of it? And then the major benefit that your customers walk away with. You're letting people have a short interview, or a short commercial rather, of who you are, why it's worth them talking to you or looking into you, investing in you, or why they should be looking into your company, what it is that you provide for others, and is giving them how they can possibly merge with you or with your company to create a partnership. A lot of people stumble over that. A lot of it's just out of not being prepared. Like I said, people don't practice that enough, and they get really, really long-winded. A person says, okay, I'm such and such, nice to meet you. What do you do? And they go through everything they've ever done in their whole life. They're not asking for your resume. They're looking for that elevator pitch right now in this moment. Who are you? What do you do? What value is it providing? What problem are you solving? Because I need to know, if you're trying to network and create that partnership with me, does what you do mesh with what it is that I do? That's pretty much what you're trying to get them to see. It may work for some, it may not work for some. They may say, hey, that's interesting. Let's talk about it a little bit later. Or you may get hey, well, that's not really in our wheelhouse, or we haven't expanded our operations into that field yet, but I'll keep you in mind. And then you keep it moving, and work in the room. You don't want to just stay on one person. You don't want to have that stalker mentality on just one person. You want to hit all of the major players in the room. Always hit every major player in the room, if possible. Sometimes people got security or a whole gatekeeper team around them. There's nothing you can do about that. But you want to, as best as you can, hit all the major players in the room, hit all the major organizations in the room as well.
Hey, Shannon, one thing I want to add on to that is they don't care why you started your business.
Mm-hmm.
If they care about that, they'll ask that after you tell them why they should invest in you.
Mm-hmm.
You have to be able to explain to them in the elevator pitch things that catch their eye. Mm-hmm. Is your business scalable? How much money you've made in the last year? How many products, services you've offered and delivered? They do not care that you started it. Not that it's not important, but they don't care that you started it because you lost your job and you was out of work for 6 months. That comes after. Right now, I am a business. I am able to provide this service. I move 40 pieces of merchandise, or I service 8 clients a week. And I'm looking to expand or scale to 16 clients a week and bring in 3 more people to also work with me, because my business is now moving into another space. Now people are hearing things that are tangible, numbers, money. Okay, you know what? I see that you're out here doing something. I want to invest with you because you're on the uptick. Is it good that you started because you didn't have a job? Great. But I don't care about that right now. So if all the emotion about it, that's second. Let them ask you, so what got you started? But right then, you want to give them straight hard. These are my deliverables.
Yeah, and it's what Shannon said. I call it the who do to. Who do to, right? So who do you help do what in order to do that, right? And that's it. It's a simple way of breaking it down, because certain people, they will, and correct me if I'm wrong here, Kurt, they'll just get people in front of you and they're like, well, I'm just trying to do this, because I just want to save the world, and I'm going to open me up a Subway, and you know, we're gonna take it to the next level because my mama used to have cancer back in the day. And it's like, wait, where are we going with this,
man?
And I have absolutely no clue where we're going with this conversation.
At
so
all.
you got to break down who to two. I help who, so I help this person do this. That way they can, in order to go in that route, right? So yeah, it's really having that elevator pitch in order. And you know, when you sometimes when y'all start drinking that top bottom shelf liquor, man, it just don't come out the way that it should.
Yeah.
But
and you said a very powerful thing where you said, you know, that when people start talking, they want to save the world. And here's one thing that I heard when somebody said, okay, who in here wants to be a speaker? And it was a beautiful setup, but it was something that was powerful because they said, okay, who wants to be a speaker? And this was, of course, a speaking conference, and people raised their hand and said, I want to be a speaker. And, you know, brought one person up. He said, okay, why do you want to be a speaker? He's like, what you said, I want to save the world. I want to change the world. He's like, oh, okay. You want to change the world? How? By my gift of speaking. Perfect. Love that. And how are you going to do that? Because I'm going to speak and deliver to 10 to 20 million people. Got you. You want to save the world. You're going to speak to 10 to 20 million people. That's perfect. He said, in the past week, how many people have you spoken to? How many gigs? How many events have you been booked for? Oh, none. But you want to speak to 10 million, 20 million people. He said, how many people from your speeches have either booked you or you have a testimony about how your speech helped them? He said, none. You haven't spoke to one person, but you want to speak to 10 million. First of all, how about we just go speak to one person? How about we get to one event? Let's do that consistently before we jump so far ahead and say, I'm going to speak to 10 to 20 million people, but you haven't spoke to 10 people yet. You know, so you better be able to strategically adapt.
Right.
Adapt tour coming.
And that's real. And so I was just having a conversation with a director of a company the other day, and he was talking about, it was this article that he had, and he was talking about it was like these 7 ranked things that people said would drive, and this comes from like the employee engagement side, right? That will drive a leader to be the best leader, I guess, to build the best team, to have the best environment. So number 1 was inspiration. I'm not going to argue with that. You have to inspire. But then one of the other pieces down the list, and I think this was like 5 or 6, it said that you want to be able to, and I'm trying to remember how they worded it, but it was, you want to be able to be specific in the change, like being a change agent. And
right.
in the midst of that, you want to not only just focus on the change, but you got to be able to push everything to the side. And
right.
So that's the thing. Yes, we want to change the world. I want to change the world. Kurt wants to change the world. Kurt wants to change the whole face of entrepreneurship and connecting people and getting everybody together and just uplifting everybody, and everybody's business is booming right now, right? But here's the thing. If we try to save everybody, we ain't saving nobody.
Amen.
And so then all of a sudden we're sitting here trying to say, well, if I can, and this happened to myself too, if I can just save the kids, and if I save the babies, then the babies are going to do this. And then I'm going to speak to the adults, and the adults will do this. And then I had to figure out, I was like, all right, where's my impact at? So I had to figure out, okay. And I was like, I wouldn't even realize, and this was like a trait or attribute or whatnot. I had to realize that I had to go with one focus. Who am I going to save? I then thought, you know what? I've been saving adults for a long time. And I've been changing habits, and I ain't no preacher, by the way. I ain't saving them that way. I ain't laying hands on them. But I've been changing mindsets. I've been engaging people. I have people that say, you know what? And I'm just being candid with y'all right now. I've had people who say, you know what? I absolutely hate this job, but if I can come in every single day and at least influence my environment like this, I'm fine with that, because I'd rather deal with, and this is the term they use, I'd rather deal with the devil that I know And so for me, I was like, that's that bingo. That's where I'm at. And I focused on that specific thing. And then I said, you know what? If I want to save the babies, I could save the adults who then influence the babies.
Right. Right.
So it was just me taking that focus on that. And then like, it's just, it's like you said, so all of a sudden you have this talk and oh man, it would just talk to one person. It's okay.
Yeah.
Start with that, right? A lot of these speakers, Tony Robbins, Les Brown, Eric Thomas,
right.
You know what I'm saying? They started speaking to one person. They started speaking to 5 people, 10 people, 500 people. Now they're in Vegas doing these shows. Now they're doing these big old conferences. But you want what they have right now. You see the big picture. Man, I'm trying to talk 20 million people. Sir, ma'am, can you impact 20 million people? Like, be honest with yourself. And that's a question that a lot of people have to ask them. Are you even ready to do that? Have you become the person that needs to, that's capable of doing so?
Exactly.
All right, I'm back. Had a power outage over here.
Right. Kept it going.
Hey man, I appreciate y'all, gentlemen.
We strategically adapt.
Hey, that's our team concept. All right. Next up, we're gonna switch it over to social media a little bit. How has social media been instrumental to the success of your business?
Man, it's everything. I mean, you can't get away from social media right now. Social media is the light that pulls the moth to the flame. You cannot escape. I don't care what you say. You cannot escape it right now. You have to have, unfortunately, some type of social media presence in today's time. It doesn't mean you have to have some illustrious website and all this super marketing, but you have to have some imprint and presence on social media because you have to read the tea leaves. Right now, people are tied to their phone.
Yeah.
People have to be able to, while they're driving, while they're sitting in the library, while they're sitting in the grocery store, hear your name, hear something about what you do, and go right to their phone and pull it up and start seeing something about you. So social media has been everything for business because that's where everyone, for me as a connector and networker and marketer, that's where everyone is. Now, for me, I'm using Instagram. I'm not all over the place. Because like Corey said, if you are working to do everything, you're not doing anything. So let me dominate where I am. Let me fully understand this spot and space. And then when I want to move my people to a new platform, they will follow me because I'm giving them a different experience on social media. So how it's helped my business, it allows me to immediately connect where people are. I'm meeting people where they are. And now that I'm meeting them, I can attract them to me.
Yeah, and that's that. I mean, social media is, and I want people to think about it this way. And go on, I'm gonna drop my invoice right after this, but I want people to think about social media as the party, and then I want people to think about where you lead them to, i.e., your website, your email list, or whatever it is. That's the after party. That's the intimate scene right now. Because what happens on social media is I'm blasting and I'm blasting and I'm blasting. Once we start to meet personally, and by personally, I mean, okay, you've been paying attention to my specific content from my email list. I might have given you some free stuff because you signed up for this. I might have given you some information that you can go use that's not on social media, but it had to start with social media. I had to get your trust from social media. I had to have you understand who I am through social media. The big piece too is, Kurt, is just everybody trying to do all these different platforms. I'm even guilty of it myself sometimes. I'm trying to post all at once. And it gets tiring. Just go dominate one lane. Go dominate that lane, but understand where do my clients sit if you have a business? Where do those clients sit? Is it Facebook? Is it Twitter? Is it Instagram? Is it LinkedIn? You know, if you're doing big business, but you're on Instagram, like flexing and all this other stuff, you're probably on the wrong platform. Yeah. And by big business, I mean like you're trying to go meet with the oil and gas CEO or somebody like you're trying to do the leadership development, but you're on Instagram talking about link in the bio. Like that's on a different platform. You have to understand where your people are. But social media is a must. Do you need to post every day? Not necessarily. Or I should say 2 and 3 times a day. Know your audience. Are people coming to you looking for that content every single day? And are you trying to build that following? Because there's some people that have giant followings because of who they are, and they post once a day, once a week, once a month. But they're doing stories, they're doing like behind the scenes stuff like that. Maybe they're just going live. Understand where that is and who you are and how you want to provide that information.
Definitely. All right, next up we got, what are some do's and don'ts for business pages on social media? This is a really big one because a lot of people don't understand the importance of separating their personal page from their business page. So in creating that business page, what do you have as some do's and don'ts for social media?
Yeah, I wanna hop out the gate right there and tell me what you do. Because if I get on your page and it's the Puerto Rican flag and the fleur de lis from Louisiana, but you're trying to sell me social media marketing courses, I'm not even giving you the time of day to even figure out what you do. I'm not scrolling that far. What you have to do is tell me upfront, because it's kind of like your business card. If you think about it, when you first get on that social media platform, do tell me what you do. That way, when I get on it, I'm like, oh, I've been looking for that. Let me see what they're about. And then I can keep scrolling. Don't get on there and, what is it? King to, and I'm just making up names here. King to David and Kyrie is my life and all this other stuff. And you trying to do business. Please don't do that. Because what I don't care about is your kids right now. And I don't care if you're married or not, and that's your king.
Yeah.
You want to still portray a level of professionalness, and it's a hook for people. It's a hook for when you come on my page and you're struggling with connecting with the right people. And Kurt the Connector's page says, I help influencers connect with other people. I help entrepreneurs connect with the people that they need to. I'm like, oh, he might be able to help me. Right. And then I start scrolling and I'm like, let me see what this man's done. So think about that. Like when you have your page or even on your website, do tell me what you do, please. Quickly, please tell me what you do. Because otherwise than that, I have a short attention span, as most people do, and I'm just going to move on.
Facts.
Yeah. And so, there's different opinions on, should you have a personal page? Should you have a business page? Should you have, merge them? Whatever you want to do, fine. If you want to merge them, you want to keep it all together, that's cool. If you want to separate them, but since we're talking about just your business page, as Corey said, and you're going to allude to, your business page should be about your business. Now, there's nothing wrong with showing some human side to you, throwing sprinkles of humor and throwing, a lighter side in there and mixing it up. That is fine to break up the business, because you want people to see that, hey, there's a gentle, a human side, an emotional side to me. But how do you have a business page that never talks about what you do? You are an investor. You're not educating me on investing. You're not teaching me about investments, and you're not showing me how you can help me invest. Everything I see is you sitting on a car, you smiling, you on vacation somewhere, you out with with your team, your crew, you're drinking, you're looking off in the sunset, and somehow somebody's taking a picture of you, and sunnier days ahead. You got a nice outfit on, you're looking down, and somebody's taking a picture, and you got 8 pictures where you're never looking up.
They still never found what's on the ground.
And they still never found on the ground. You know, you got a picture and you're looking at your watch, and it's like time reveals all. What does that mean? You are an investor. You're talking about
reveal what you do.
Exactly. So first things first, real quick, let's break down your business page, your name. What does it say? Is it something that's easily identifiable? If you have investments underscore 120 underscore 700,000 underscore come get at me, I am not going to remember that, nor am I going to type all that into the search function.
It's not happening.
It's not happening. Shannon, I know you have an irritation when you're a business and your business, if your business is not in animation, if your business is not in graphic design or art, why do you have a cartoon figure? Unless it's a painting or unless it's something that is so clear, it's 4K, it's a 1080 HP HD on top of 1080 HD. If it's not that, why is your picture cartoon?
Can't stand it.
Next, your bio. Is your bio clear and concise? I'm helping people overcome financial issues and hindrances by helping them invest. That's not telling me anything. That's very vague. I want to help you make money. Everybody does. Thank you.
Exactly.
Even the Forex spam bots.
Even the Forex spam bots want to help me make $100,000 in under 6 hours. How are you going to help me make money? How are you going to help me invest? Do you have some way for people to either book a consultation or to book your services? Does the link work?
That's huge.
Does the link work? And is there things on there that are out of date? If you first started off as a baker and now you're an investor, why are you still saying a baker's dozen for $4.99? Wait, how does that help me invest? I don't get it. I'm confused. And now under that, what do your pictures say? Everything needs to be on brand. So I like to use this. Would you follow you?
Yeah.
Do you understand based off your pictures what you do? And this is the other part. Get out your feelings when someone is coaching you about they are confused about what your page stands for. When someone asks you what your page stands for and you say, I'm an investor, and then they go and look and they see nothing about investment and they're like, hey, you may want to take some of these pictures. You may want to archive them. You may want to put more things about education and information about investing. And you say, no, I do got pictures up there about investment. Look right there, the top 3 pictures. Okay, you know what? How about this? How about I get off your page and you do an audit yourself and you keep doing what you're doing and you don't grow, and I keep going over here and being successful and what I know that I'm doing because you came and asked me to audit your page. I'm going to pull up because I'm about to get mad. I had a flashback.
It happens.
Yeah,
it does.
I was like, this is real life right here.
It's real life. And so that's the thing. Would you follow you? Do you understand what you're doing? And listen, you can tie things together. You can, if you're a huge sports fan and you have a football picture up there, okay, cool. And if it's spoken, if it's something speaking and Corey clicks on it, and it's a football, it's the Houston Texans, the GM talking about breaking the plates and investing and doing this, that's fine. That's on brand. You can use the football picture and video because what is he talking about? He's talking about investments. If you have a picture of a Larry Fitzgerald or someone in sports that is taking Shaquille O'Neal, that is taking his sports platform and use it to invest in businesses, and now he is a multimillionaire just off his investments, a LeBron James that has invested his sneaker deal and his entertainment money to build and give away scholarships. That is keeping me on brand and I can understand. But if you jump on there talking about, man, last week I saw Dallas play Houston and, Jason Garrett and, he should have been the coach and Dak Prescott. What? Okay, you know what Corey's going to do? He's going to keep scrolling.
Next.
Because I don't understand what this has to do with investments. You talking about the game right now. Keep that on your personal page.
Yeah.
Your business page is for your business.
Yeah, and it's I can't stress enough about how there's even folks, I want you to realize, like Kurt said, there's nothing wrong with lifestyle stuff for people to get an inside track on like maybe like who you are and what you've been doing and stuff like that. But if the first 3 like rows of pictures is you at the gym and you jacking up a straight 3 or something like that, and you talking about how you can help me become a 6-figure coach, it sounds like you can help me become a 6-figure bodybuilder, because you know what I'm saying? Like there's nothing there that shows me that you're actually doing what you're doing.
Right.
And this is a fault for a lot of people too, who get in a business and then they start to drop merchandise. All of a sudden their page then turns into a merchandise page. So do you sell t-shirts, or do you actually do the business that you said you did? And so all of a sudden you see that it's okay. Go make another page that's for such and such merchandise for your brand, right? Mm-hmm. But if all I see on your page is you're telling me that you can help me make light bulbs, but then I see shirts and sweatpants and all this other stuff, I no longer think you can help me make light bulbs. I'm just being honest.
And you know, especially if you have an actual company, a certified company, have a page for that company. Don't try to merge that with your personal page. You're going to get people confused when you go to start posting about your personal life or what you did over the weekend, or, you know, your daughter's birthday party and all of that type of stuff. You don't want that associated with your business page. If you have a personal brand, then okay, you find that balance in between that. So understand the difference and you know, what the guys just told you about. Your personal brand page is different than if you have an actual business page for a physical business. You want only what's, you know, conducive to bringing you customers for that business, spreading education and value for that business. Another thing with the business page, as far as since we're talking about with do's and don'ts, don't copy other people's pages. You know, we were talking about that a little bit before we came on. Be original. Let people know what they're getting and investing in you. Don't go and copy what your favorite influencers page looks like, and you copying all of their quotes and all of their videos, and you're trying to get the same font as they have, and you're using the same color scheme. I can just go follow that person's page. I don't need to follow your page. What am I getting when I follow you? What am I getting when I invest in you? What am I getting if I choose to hire you? I need to know who you are. I need to know what your company is representing. I need to know what you're bringing to that table. You know, you can't have your page look like your favorite influencer's page and then tell me it's a $2,500 invoice. Nah, I can go and pay them the $2,500 because you didn't copy $24.99 of their page. Like, come on, man. Like, you know, people got, you know, we laugh, but we see it every single day.
Yeah,
we see it every single day. You can tell who a person is influenced by a lot of times, man, because you see it all over their page, and you rarely see anything that comes from them. You know, another thing for business pages, don't really get into the meme space a whole lot. If you have a certified business, you know, let people know what the value is in your business. Let them know what you're bringing to the table. Don't just repost memes all day. That's very generic, and it'll make a person scroll right past it, because if all you're doing is reposting viral memes, I still don't know what it is that you do. I don't know why I need to become a customer or a client for your business. You know, Kurt talked about the links. Please, please, please. Have a functioning website if you're going to put it on there. Have a, you know, everything that's on your link tree. Make sure that they all work. It's nothing worse than clicking on a link in somebody's bio and then it says coming soon. You got me to come to your page right now today. You're telling me why I need to invest in you or your company today. So then don't send me somewhere that's not even ready for the public.
How long is your page going to be under construction?
Exactly.
You know, under construction for 17 months.
Like,
business coming soon.
If I see that, I'm going to the next person. I'm telling you straight up. I'm
right.
not going to even question you. I'm not sending you a message. I'm not calling, emailing, none of that. Only put up functioning links. Only put up links that have something to do with your business. If you have a coach, an entrepreneur coaching or consulting business, your link shouldn't send me to your Shopify store for these hats that you just dropped. It shouldn't send me to your son's SoundCloud page because he needs some help getting his new album out.
Not the SoundCloud.
But it happens. People have the most ridiculous stuff on their flow page or their link tree, and it has absolutely squat to do with their business. And they wonder why they've been in business 6 years and only got one client. Like, you're not giving people the official, authentic you.
Right.
You're not giving people the true value of what your company brings to the table. So they think you're just another imposter out here trying to get a quick buck off of social media.
Right.
And there's millions of them. There's millions of them. Another thing for a business page, do not offer something on your social media that you cannot provide. It may work for a bunch of people. They have it, and you're like, okay, well, I'm gonna tell people I can do this service too. And then somebody come to you for it, and you say, oh, well, we putting it out there, but we're not doing it just yet. We're not gonna offer that until May 2021. Why is it on your page in November 2020? I'm not waiting for you in May. I'm going to find somebody that can do it now in November.
Today.
So don't sell wolf tickets. Like, that's the simplest way I can put that. Don't talk about services and products that you do not physically have, or you're not physically able to provide right here today at the time that you posted that post.
Yeah, someone want to talk about, Shannon, you said about like memes and all that stuff. Everybody, we're in this viral space of like people wanting to go viral all the time. Understand that the quickest way to go viral is from information. So when you start to see, and shout out to his name, Mighty Woodard.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He has been posting his growth on social media. But if you think about what his growth from social media has come from, it's been viral information. And his following has went off the charts because he started putting the information out there, and he continued to put info. See, you look at it, MySpace, right? You think not literally MySpace. No one goes on that, I don't think, anymore, at least. But in MySpace, as far as like corporate leadership and whatnot, one of the big heads is John Maxwell.
Yeah.
John Maxwell, if you think about it, he says some pretty good stuff. Now, I'm not knocking him. Y'all don't come for me like this. Just listen to my point real quick. I might have some folks standing outside my door. But think about how John Maxwell became John Maxwell. John Maxwell was a preacher. He was a pastor. He wasn't in leadership, like corporate leadership like that, but he went viral off of information. He has, I'm not even sure how many books. I probably have 7 of his books up there.
Easily.
And I don't even know how many more books that he actually has, viral information. So when people think about how do I learn leadership, John Maxwell, oh yeah, go pick up one of the 1,000 books that he has. Even when you think about if you want to go viral off of your speeches, like everybody's trying to make this fire video that way they could be like, man, I'm just going viral on it. Well, what if you just kept dropping knowledge and then those videos then started getting viral, and then all of a sudden it's pushing people to go look at the other videos. Oh my God, all of a sudden your following is growing, and now you see the blow up. Just understand that viral information will help you more than actually like the viral funny meme or the viral like rah-rah video that you're about to make. Like the viral information is where it's at.
Definitely. All right, we will get into our last question here. We have, how do you choose content for going live and when to go live on social media? We're in an age now where people want to see you. People want to do Q&A sessions with you. People want to see webinars and podcasts and the whole 9 yards. So how do you go about choosing content for going live and when to go live on social media?
You want to Kurt, or you want me to start? You want me to go in?
I'll take this one real quick. So how do you choose content for going live and when to go live on social media? I'm going to start with the second question first. When to go live on social media should be our main theme. You go live on social media based off your numbers and when your audience engages with you because of your consistency. People can tell you, oh, you need to go at 9, you can go at 12, you can go at 3 because they have this, and the parents are off and this, and these people are here, and it's lunchtime and all that. That means nothing if you're not consistent. You go live based off the consistency in your audience, because your audience, your analytics may say, oh, well, everybody's on at 3. But that doesn't mean they're on for you at 3.
Exactly.
So number one thing is, when can you be consistent? When can you notify and tell your community, your tribe, your audience that you're going to be going live, and then show up when you're supposed to go live? Because if I'm telling people, hey, I'm going live at 5 p.m. Eastern, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, now my audience knows. Your audience will adjust. So we have to take the strategies of the biggest marketers that there ever been. TV. They told you Thursday, 7 p.m. Eastern, The Cosby Show, NBC. But when did they tell you? They told you after the episode was off. The next episode, next Thursday, 7 p.m. Eastern, That was one. Then they told you on Monday. Then they told you again on Tuesday. Then they dropped the plug on Wednesday. And then they showed up on 7 p.m. Eastern. Because if you don't show up when you're supposed to show up, I'm going to find another show for 7 p.m.
Definitely.
So that's one. You have to be consistent when you're going to go live. Now, how you find content? First, there's a myriad of ways. You can go out here. They have sites that can give you topics of the day. They can give you what's going on, what's trending, what's happening. Listen, the content that you come up with, talk about what you know. That's how you can start. I like to start at the bare basics, the bare minimum. Doing what you can do right now. Too many times we hear, oh, go to this site, go to that site, and you're jumping all over the place. First of all, you know what? How about you do 30 days of just talking about what you know?
They just complicated, Kurt.
They make it complicated. If you are a baker, talk about, I've been baking for 10 years. I've learned that using this type of flour does this, and this type of flour does that. When I do chocolate chip cookies, I grease the pan, or I let the cookie dough warm up some, or I do this. Talk about what you know. People will listen to you because you're telling them something about what they may not know or what they need to be reminded. We overthink it sometimes and be like, no, nobody wants to hear that. One person got paid because they pushed a lemon down the road, they recorded it, and they put it up on YouTube, and that's it. And they made millions off that. So talk about what you know. And then as you talk about what you know, educate people on that. And then the more you level up and the more you start to learn new things, you can talk about that. And you can start looking at other things and pivoting, but start just with what you know, because here's the thing, 1% more than somebody else. If I don't know how to cook and you know how to bake and you know how to make chocolate chip cookies, I will come to you to get chocolate chip cookie education and strategy, because I'm gonna go back and make chocolate chip cookies now. So 1, be consistent. 2, tell them when you're going to go live. And 3, talk about what you know until you grow into more content and understanding something else. Talk about your industry, research what's popular, give people something they can walk away with. Tell them that, hey, if you don't bake chocolate chip cookies at 375 for 25 minutes, this is what will happen 90% of the time. Now I know. You've come on live and you've educated me.
That's that viral info.
That's that viral info. And here's the last thing. Don't worry about the numbers. If you just see, because if you're, I'm talking, man, it's only 3 people on live. I'm not doing live anymore. You haven't checked your numbers. You could have 3 people on, but have reached 30, 50, 60 people. Why? Because people jump in, they jump out. They jump in, they jump out. They're coming through. Oh, they're live. Let me see what they're talking about. Okay, nope, I'm going to something else. Just because this is happening with your numbers, again, that doesn't mean anything. Marty has 65,000 people that are following him, yet his live may have 170. And that's fine because it's not about the numbers. It's not about the numbers because you know what? He could have reached 5,000 people as many people have jumped on and off.
Yeah. And another thing, really quick with the whole numbers thing, you could have 5 people on your live. You don't know who knows who. You may have 5 people. Well, one of those people could be an executive for NBC or ABC, and they're looking for somebody to put on a new show. Yep. Or you could have somebody that's a marketing director for Nike, and they've been looking for some, some fresh new faces to add to the company. You never know who those people are. So whether you got 5 people or whether you got 5 million people on your live, on your podcast, on your Zoom, on your webinar, you give it 110% all day, every day, because you just don't know who's who.
Yeah, and I would rather have 5 quality people listening to me versus have 5 million people just in there just watching me. And I'm looking at that number in the corner and it's, oh man, I got 5 million people watching me and I got no comments, I got no interaction. I'm just talking. Exactly. And they're just like crickets all through the comments and whatnot. I don't get any feedback. But the thing you touched on, Kurt, is just the biggest part for me. Talk about what you know. I challenge myself. I'm going to challenge everybody out there. If you post something, whether it's a live, a photo, a video, whatever, if you can't talk about it, don't post it. Because you putting some information up here that I might have a question about, and you might say something, and on the side note, we have a conversation, or we might have a consultation or something like that, and they're thoroughly interested in that. How crazy does it sound that you'd be like, oh man, I just kind of found something fire online, and I just went and posted it? Be able to talk about that. And also understand that, Kurt, you spoke about this too. It doesn't have to be deep. It could be, if you do 375 instead of 350, this is how your cookies come out. I can't bake. I'm not a fan of baking. So if I saw something about 375 versus 350 to a master baker, they might be like, that's not my audience. Like I already know how to bake that. For me, I might be like, yep, I just learned something new today. I mean, I listened to a podcast about how to tell male or female on the bell peppers. I'm pretty sure a botanist or somebody, you know what I'm saying, is going to be like, oh, you didn't know that? You know what I mean? So it's like, just understand that the information that you're giving is going to help somebody. As long as it's valuable information, please don't go online, just talking about yourself. And I just want to tell you all about my day and how such and such talked about me. And this person looked at me crazy and all that other stuff. Ain't nobody trying to hear that. But just realize that the information that you put forth is truly valuable to somebody. And like I said, check the numbers, man. You might have 3 people on your live. By the end of the week, that thing said 97 people. That thing said 100 people. You never know. So, I mean, I posted a video the other day. I didn't even realize it. It had like 300 viewers on it. And I was like, shoot, when I initially posted it, I think I had like 5 people or 6 people come in. And I was like, oh, okay, whatever. And then moved on from it. I was like, I'm going to do something else. And then I checked it again, and I was like, oh, I got like 6 shares on it. I was, okay. And I started feeling myself, and I had to, I had to go hit up a couple, you know what I'm saying? A couple firms so I could sign some contracts. I was and
repurpose your content. Go back to some content that you had and look at it, and then just talk about that, that information. You can go back. You can go back to, 50, 60 posts if you have that many, and go back and look and say, okay, to yourself, why did I post this? Oh, okay, I remember. I'm going to talk about that. That's what I'm going to talk about. Because the thing, Corey, we talked about, you know more than someone else. But when you're in it, we get in our heads sometimes like, man, nobody wants to hear that. Yeah. But you are amazed that there's over 7 billion people in the world. Right? There's somebody out there that doesn't know that information, and just a little bit more. So educate them on that. There's a lot, like you said, Corey, I don't bake, But yo, if you come on talking about it, and then you educate me, and I can go do it, and now I make cookies because you taught me. You just gained me as a follower because I'm like, yo, that is 100% right. You told me 375, 25 minutes. Set your timer. This is what you do. You take the cookie dough out. You put it here. You let it warm up. You use greased aluminum foil. You put it in. You 375. You preheat. If I don't know what preheat means,
yeah.
Now you tell me that little bit, and you turn around and say, you know what I can do? I know just a little bit more than a lot of other people. So I'm going to educate those people that don't know this. And then here's the last thing. You guide people through on your live. What is the end goal? The end goal should be to either book them or sell them. But don't make it cheesy. Don't come on. Hey, I want you to buy my book. No. Hey, I'm coming on live just to tell you what I do, tell you who I am. Now, if you found this valuable, thank you for being on. Please go and click the link in my bio, or please DM me for more information. You know what? Definitely. But you've led me to where you want me to go.
Definitely. Once again, this is the Successes Within Reach podcast, episode 7, the power of networking and social media. I want to thank Corey and Kurt both for coming on here, giving valuable gems as always. And I would personally want to thank y'all for keeping it going through the technical difficulties. It just goes to show you got to be able to pivot and keep it moving, man. You got to be able to
strategically adapt.
You know what I mean? Before we get out of here, I want to let y'all speak to the people for a second. So Corey, let them know, a little bit more about you, what it is you're doing, where they can find you, and how they can get in contact with you.
Yeah, so as always, look, if you're building a team, if you need some leadership development, that also means from within too, you can contact me. All social media is Corey Sigu. Specifically, if you want to go to CoreySigu.com, you can find all my information there. Look, y'all just go get some free information. Matter of fact, Shannon, for them, CoreySigu.com/mastering engagement, and I'll give you my free mastering engagement guide. Teach you how to delegate, teach you how to position people, teach you how to position yourself. Y'all let me know, see how I can serve you.
Hey, be free 99 people.
Hey. I'm Kurt the Connector on IG. I'm a networking marketing strategist. Listen, what I do is what you see. I'm connected to dope people. I'm connected to the Shannon Smiths, Success Was Within Reach podcast, a part of the marketing site for Corey Sigu, helping you with understanding who you are and how you can become a better you. I connect people to doper people because my network is huge. I eliminate the fear of rejection. I help warm setups, and I help bless you. That is what I do. I have a 98% success rate. What does that mean? That means if you connect with me, I'm 98% successful with making sure that I connect you to right people to consult with and get your business and brands moving. So I'm Kurt the Connector. And because I'm on with Shannon Smith, I have consultations. You hit me up. You use hashtag SIWR. I give you a 15-minute consultation, totally free, to help you audit your social media page, come up with a marketing strategy, or come up with a network. That's all love, you know what I'm saying, based off the network that I'm connected to.
Nice. Appreciate that.
They pay for the couple invoices that you put on there, right?
Yeah, the invoice. Yeah, the invoice was $99.97.
I think we got at least 3 invoices from Kurt on here.
And once again, ladies and gentlemen, I'm your host, Shannon Smith. You can find me on Instagram at _CEO_within. I am a business consultant. I provide innovative solutions to both entrepreneurs and corporate clients alike, focusing on growth, efficiency, and profitability. My company is The CEO Within You. You can find us at www.theceowithinyou.com. You can find us here every Thursday for the Successes Within Reach podcast at www.facebook.com/SIWR podcast. Next week, we have a major holiday. So we will be doing next week's podcast on Tuesday. And I have a very, very special guest coming up for you guys next week. So follow along. Of course, as always, on Saturday morning, this podcast will be uploaded to Spotify, to Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Anchor, and YouTube, and more. And with that, we'll tell you good night and be great.